Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's Sickle Cell Sunday, I'm going to be discussing some of the tips I have on living with sickle cell disease. So essentially, when you do have sickle cell disease, this is an ongoing battle. So in my case, I will have sickle cell pretty much till the day I die, or you have this blood disorder the rest of your life. And I have found some tips and tricks, and you could even consider them tools if you want, on how to kind of live with sickle cell. So the most important tip I have is to stay hydrated. When you have sickle cell disease, you need constant hydration. So when I'm here at home, usually I will always have some water nearby. Right now, I have 2 cups of water just standing by for me to drink them. So I like to have water standing by so I can really remind myself to drink water. I really try to stay away from sodas and things that can dehydrate your body. The sugar in the soda can dehydrate your body. Now sometimes on occasion I will drink a sugary drink like a guava juice and stuff like that, but I'll try to do that maybe at least once a week. But I typically stay away from sodas and sugary drinks. I love water, I love drinking water, and this was a habit that I needed to get in the habit of. When I was younger, I really hated to drink water. I didn't like water at all, and that would put me in situations of dehydration. And dehydration is not a good combination to have when you have sickle cell, because the dehydration can cause you a further pain crisis. Now, if you don't like water, you could try to drink Gatorade. Gatorade has those, I think it's electrolytes, that can really help your system get going. And also, I remember my pediatrician when I was younger, she said that Crystal Light was a good alternative to get young children to start drinking water. So now that I'm an adult, I don't drink Crystal Light anymore. I usually stick to Gatorade and water. And a trick that I do is I try to fill up half of my cup with crushed ice, and then I'll fill up my cup of water all the way with water. So I like to chew on the ice as well. So typically when I'm doing homework or I am busy, I try to get my water intake as well as chewing on that ice. So it is very important to stay hydrated and really get your body the amounts of hydration needed. So if you don't get the hydration, especially in a sickle cell patient, the dehydration slows the blood flow and can increase the risk of cells sticking to each other, and it can also increase the sickling of the red blood cells because of the chemical changes that is occurring. So like I mentioned, dehydration is a very sticky situation for sickle cell patients. So if you do get dehydrated, you really need to pump up the fluids, and maybe you may even need medical attention because it can become a serious thing for a sickle cell patient. It could cause, like I mentioned earlier, the cells start sticking to each other because it doesn't have as much water in your system, and it's just gonna cause a lot of problems. So for me, I try to have at least 2 cups of water nearby. Also, when I go to school, I try to have my water bottle, and this is my water bottle I take to school. The thing I like about this water bottle is that it has the ounces and milliliters written on the bottle, so I can really see how much water I have drank or not drank. When I'm in class, usually you're working so much and it's a full day that you essentially forget to kind of eat or drink. And when I look over at my bottle, I can see how much I drank over the time period. Depending on how long my school day is, I try to drink this full 24-ounce bottle. And then if I can get an extra 24 ounces in, even better. Typically when I'm in class, I try to at least drink half of the bottle for that 1 to 2 hour period that I'm in that class. and then I try to go and refill it and drink some more. So this is a good reminder to kind of see how many ounces or milliliters you are drinking. So that really helps me remind myself I either need to drink more, or it's also good to know how many ounces you're drinking so you can notify your doctor. If you're not feeling good, you can tell him or her that this is what you were drinking. You drank this amount of water and you're still not feeling good, and they can kind of go from there to see what is occurring. So I'm going to move on to my next tip. My next tip is getting rest. Rest is an important factor so our body can recover from all the action one has in their day and all the movement, and so rest is a very important factor for any human body, but especially in sickle cell patients because we can become anemic and very tired and fatigued. So it is important to get your rest in. If I'm not feeling good and I have the ability to sleep in, I try to sleep in 8 to 10 hours. I try to sleep at least 8 to 10 hours depending on how my body's feeling. If it's the weekend, I'll try to get those 10 hours. And if I have to go to school, typically I cannot get those 10 hours. So I'll try to get 7 to 8 hours of good sleep, and then I'll go to school. I try to get as much sleep as I can, and I notice that really helps me relax my body, and it helps me wake up energized. Most of the time, if I sleep in like my 10 hours, I'm very energized. I don't need to take a nap, and I do everything that needs to be done and have a productive day. If you only sleep 5 hours and you're exhausted, you can't accomplish what you need to accomplish in your day. So it is important to get your rest in, because if you have homework, you're not going to be able to do your homework, or if you have class, you're going to be falling asleep in class and you're not learning what you need to learn. It's important to listen to your body. If you need a nap, you should probably take a nap. So moving on to the next tip. The next tip I have here is being aware of the weather around you. So for me, being in extreme types of weather can affect me, and it can cause me a pain crisis. I try to be aware of the weather that is happening around me. If it's super hot, I try to dress with less clothing. I'll wear some shorts and a tank top and flip-flops. If it's super cold, I'll wear a nice pea coat and some jeans and some boots with socks, and I really will layer up. So the weather here in California is pretty bipolar. So one second it's raining and pouring cats and dogs, and in the next second the sun will be shining, and it's crazy. So okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next tip. The next tip I have here is don't get stressed. By getting stressed, your body is gonna react funny, and in my case, the stress really affects my body. I start worrying a lot, and that can essentially lead me to a crisis. I try to eliminate as much stress as I can, but essentially there will always be some sort of stress or stressors in our lives. So for me, a lot of the stress that I deal with comes from school and deadlines and having to turn in the homework or papers on time, and they can be super long papers, 20-page papers and stuff like that, and having the stress of, oh my god, this is a big paper or a big project, or I have a presentation. It can really stress my body out and freak my body out, and I will feel sick, I will feel stressed, and I will most definitely get pain. What I try to do to deal with the stress is staying organized. If you stay organized and you plan out your days, you can know exactly what's due when, and you can work on a paper ahead of time. It's definitely important to identify where the stress is coming from, so you can solve the issue and you can improve on it, and it can be eliminated essentially, or eventually eliminated. So I'm going to move on to my next tip I have for you guys. So the next tip I have for you guys is taking a nice warm bath. So I like to take a nice warm bath with some Epsom salt, and I have my Relief Epsom salt, and I get this one at the dollar store or the 99 cents only store. I've seen it at the Dollar Tree. This is a smaller bag. It's a 16-ounce bag, but if you're in a pinch, I definitely would pick it up. The smell is excellent. It smells very good. This one is in lavender, and the lavender really helps you relax and kind of calm you down. It helps with stress, so it kind of just calms and soothes your body. And then the one I have over here is the Dr. Teal's Pure Epsom Salt Soaking Solution Relax and Relief with Eucalyptus Spearmint. So I absolutely love this Eucalyptus Spearmint. It's very fresh, very clean. I love the scent of that, especially if I'm getting a pain crisis. I will definitely go ahead and take a Epsom salt bath. Now, I can't always do this because sometimes I do get a crisis and I'll be at school. But if I'm here at home and I'm getting a pain crisis, I most definitely will take a nice warm bath. The warm bath will really kind of relax your body, your muscles. The Epsom salt will help detoxify your body. It will also help with soothing any sore muscles you may have if you overexerted your body. So Epsom salt has a lot of good beneficial properties that it can offer to your body. You know, it kind of helps soothe your muscles, any aches and pains, and it also detoxifies. When I'm getting a very bad pain crisis, I will definitely hop into a bath and pour my Epsom salt, and I'll take my pain medicine and I'll just kind of wait it out until I can move and get out of the bath. Since the warm bath is kind of considered like heat, the heat will help you increase blood flow, and that can kind of help with the circulation in our body. So the heat can kind of expand the blood vessels, which will increase that circulation that I was talking about. It is mentioned that heat kind of blocks the transmitters which signal the pain. This is one of my favorite tips. I love taking baths, and especially with Epsom salt, it really helps me relax my body. It kind of also helps me de-stress and really focus on what I want to do. Alrighty guys, so I'm going to move into my next tip, and my next tip is washing your hands. It is so important to get rid of all the germs you touch throughout the day. And if you're in school, wash your hands. If you're at home, wash your hands. Anywhere you are, wash your hands. So I noticed that washing your hands really kind of helps you maintain a good, healthy immune system. You won't get as sick maybe because you're washing the germs away. You know, a tip kind of relating to this is if you see anyone with a cold, a flu, or any type of sickness they may have, or a cold, I don't know, something weird going on, they're puking, you want to stay away from that. Especially being a sickle cell patient, I try to stay away from people who are sneezing, coughing, puking, I don't know. I'm a germaphobe because I really do catch everything. If the person across the street is sneezing, I swear to God, the next day I will be sneezing, coughing, I'll have the flu, I don't know. If I see the person next to me is maybe coughing and sneezing, I will take some hand sanitizer, wipe my hands. The next and final tip I have for you guys is having some sort of snack in your purse, or also having some glucose tablets in your purse or backpack if you're a male. So typically I'll have some either granola bars or sometimes some candy. I have this Puerto Rican candy, which is this mango paste, and this is the Dulzura Boricana mango paste. It's basically like a little paste of mango, and it's so good. Now I know sugar is not good for you, but with all the medications we take, sometimes, especially if you take pain medications, your pressure can get kind of low, or your sugar can get kind of low if you haven't eaten properly, depending on what's going on. I have experienced very low pressure sometimes, or extreme low sugar, so having a snack, some sort of candy, will really help with that. So that's my tip, and I always have some sort of food in my purse, whether it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or some Puerto Rican candies, or Mexican candies, or any type of candies. I have all kinds of candies in my purse sometimes. It's always better to be prepared and to be aware of the environment around you. So I really hope you guys were able to learn something or learn about my tips and tricks. Let me know if you want to know any more tips and tricks I may have, or if you want to see a video on stress and how I manage stress. Just more of an in-depth video. I can do that for you guys as well, maybe for next Sickle Cell Sundays video. Please remember to check out my Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. I'll leave all of those linked down below. Also, don't forget to leave me a comment on any sickle cell related topics that you may be interested in. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!